Hey everybody, welcome. Thanks for coming in today. I appreciate you being here. We are going to talk about how to control your hunger, guys. I actually did this with myself over the weekend. I want to tell you about the results. If you were live on Periscope, you heard a broadcast about the hunger scale. But I'm going to be even more information today right here on Facebook Live. So feel free to leave your comments, give me feedback, let me know what you think. And let's get a conversation going around this topic because I really feel like this can help a lot of people. And just kind of like learned about it and just kind of thought about it and was like, wow, this is really good because so many people are going for so many hours without eating. They're like basically starving themselves to where they just want to eat everything in sight. And then also we've got the other end of the spectrum where people are stuffing themselves until they just feel basically sick, and then maybe beating yourself up, especially if you're trying to lose weight. And and we can bounce back and forth between those two extremes. So we want to try to get your hunger scaled in, okay, at a healthy place each day, each time you eat, and so forth. So I appreciate you guys being here, and if you find this information valuable, feel free to share it out. Feel free again to leave me comments, send me messages. I'm here to help you guys. I want to help people improve their quality of life by learning more about incorporating exercise, learning more about how to incorporate healthy habits around your lifestyle. It takes time to make some changes, so gradual changes are always good, and just becoming more aware is often what people need to do. And then that helps to fuel changes, in their lifestyle. So just becoming aware of stuff we're doing, then we're like, oh wow, I never really thought of that, but it seems so simple, and then we can make changes. So let's talk about the hunger scale and what it means when we get hungry, guys. When you hear your stomach growling, when you're starting to feel those hunger pains, or when you're just like feeling hangry, okay? So make sure you look at the chart that I put up below this post, and I will post it again in the comment section of this broadcast. It is a scale, and I'm going to go over the scale right now, but I mentioned in there, I put some little emojis for different emotions that we're feeling, guys, when we're getting hungry, okay? When we're getting hungry, or when we're too full, and how we feel when we're like satisfied, and that's what we want to go for. We want to get to that satisfied place each time we eat, and not like overstuffing ourselves and not like starving ourselves, okay? Because there's a lot of both of those going on, and your body's going to function optimally and have the most fuel if you can maintain that just satiated type of state where you feel comfortable but not bloated, okay, and not completely stuffed and full. So that was really neat, because I know a lot of people use that expression now that they're hangry because they're like just starving to death, and that that's when your blood sugar's all out of whack and you're just like freaking out because you hadn't had anything to eat in so long, or you haven't eaten the right foods prior, so now you're like starving, and there's a lot of things that can cause that. But let's get going. So your body's, when you get hungry, when you feel that hunger, basically your body is requesting fuel. So we need to feed ourselves, okay? And you really want to feed yourself right when you start to feel that hunger coming on, okay? We don't want to wait until several hours pass and our stomach's been growling and that's your metabolism talking to you, guys. So you want to go ahead and feed yourself when that starts, because what can happen, and I've done this before, where you get that hunger pain going on, your stomach's growling and making all kinds of noises, and then eventually it kind of stops and you still haven't given yourself any food. So your body is kind of like going, okay, I'm not going to get any food, so I better just quit yelling. It's not doing any good. I'm trying to speak up, but I'm not getting any food. And so over time, our metabolism kind of starts to slow down a little bit. So that's why it's important to listen to those hunger pains, okay, to that stomach growling. Sometimes mine makes a loud noise, and I'm like, oh, it's embarrassing if I'm somewhere where everybody is trying to be quiet. So I have to make sure that I eat enough, okay? You got to eat enough, but again, not eat too much. So where is that midpoint in our diet and what we're supposed to be eating, all right? So you want to listen to your body. Now, there's a scale. So we're going to go on a 10-point scale, okay? So everybody hold up all fingers. So this is the easiest way for me to do it, because if I try to show a image of writing into the Facebook live stream. It is unlike Periscope, and you will see it backwards, so can't do anything about that right now. So let's use our hands. Okay, so this is 10, and then we got a 5, and then we got a 1. Okay, so those are the main numbers that we're going to be working with that I want you to think about next time you eat. Okay, or maybe you're getting ready to have lunch. Maybe you're on your lunch break right now and you're going to join in here and watch this broadcast. I want you to be thinking about a 1, a 5, and a 10, okay, on the hunger scale. So if we are at a 1, guys, that means that we are like starving, okay? So 1 is starving. You're starting to feel kind of lightheaded. You're definitely feeling hangry, all right? It's been hours since you've had anything to eat. Maybe you left home without breakfast, and it is now midday, and you're like, I am starving because I haven't had anything to eat. So you're basically getting close to a 1, all right? You've already ignored those hunger pains. And I will tell you, a lot of people don't have the hunger pains. A lot of people don't get hungry, and that's an issue too. So we need to talk. If you are not getting hungry, we definitely need to talk so that we can boost your metabolism up, okay? So number 1 is starved, starting to feel kind of lightheaded, definitely hangry, unable to concentrate. Okay, we don't have any glucose in our, our brain is using carbohydrates, okay, as fuel to function and to think and concentrate. So if you're at a 1 or maybe even getting down to a 2 and a 3, just that lower end of the scale, then you are feeling that unable to concentrate, and there's just that, that hangry feeling, and your blood sugar is dropping, guys. You got to do something. You don't want to get into that zone, okay? That is the danger zone. That is the red zone on that photo that I put here on Facebook. So make sure you look at that after the broadcast, all right? So we want to avoid that zone. All right, now let's go all the way to the other end of the spectrum, to the 10, okay? To the 10. So we got the 1, remember, the 5, and the 10. And guys, after I did this broadcast on Saturday on Periscope, I really started I started thinking about it. So that's why I wanted to bring this to you today, because I want you to start thinking about how you feel each time you eat and watch getting into these zones, okay? So number 10, as you would imagine, means I am completely full, okay? I am stuffed and I'm feeling uncomfortable. So we've got those two ends of the spectrum. The 1, completely starving. 10, way too full, overstuffed, mad at myself, beating myself up, feel like I'm gonna vomit, or just too full, okay? Maybe you're not feeling like you have to vomit, but you're just way too full. You've blown it. You've blown it. This meal, you ate way too many calories. Your digestive system's overwhelmed. Even if you're not trying to lose weight, you're still haven't done anything good for your body because you've overfed yourself, okay? So stuffed and uncomfortable. And if you see my emoji on the picture, it has that vomit mouth, okay? So you're feeling like you're about to vomit, and you're so mad at yourself, and you're beating yourself up inside because you overdid it, okay? So we don't want to be on that end either. So there's a lot of reasons, and we're not going to go into all that because I'm going to try to wrap this up pretty quick, but there's a lot of reasons that people are going to one end or another, okay? A lot of reasons, so just know that. Dieting, emotional issues, overeating, emotional eating, just, fasting, don't know how to eat properly, don't have time to eat. There's a lot of reasons and stuff going on as to why we're at these extremes, all right? But what I want you to focus on, guys, is getting at the 5 as close as you can to the 5, okay? So everybody put one hand up, all right? So we want to be at the 5, we don't want to be at the 1, and we don't want to be at the 10. So we want to get to the 5. And 5, guys, is we eat when we feel hungry, or right before we feel hungry. We eat until we're satisfied, but we don't go over, okay? We don't go over that. So we're content, we're pleasantly fed, we're satiated, we feel, and you can kind of ask yourself, if I keep eating more, am I going to feel too full? All right, now you might get to a 6 or a 7, and that's when you really need to back off, okay? Now let's talk about real quick how we can achieve this without going over. So most of the time, people are not having a problem going to the lower end, like maybe not eating enough. And if you can stay at a 4 and a 5 and be eating regularly throughout the day, and if you need to know how to do that, message me. I'm going to be on here doing more broadcasts about how to eat, real quick on the go and get several meals in throughout the day with smaller portions. So you may be staying like at a 4, okay? But that 5 is that mid-range where we want to be, where we're not getting over full, all right? And then, of course, not getting to the point of where we're hangry, because nobody likes to be around somebody who is hangry, okay? I know that I'm not nice to be around when I am hangry, all right? Or when I'm tired, okay? All right, so anyway, but we want to get to that 5 as close as you can. Now, some ways you can do that are, again, setting yourself throughout the day properly. Message me if you need to learn more about that and get a plan together. Number 2 is eating slower, okay? Really chewing the food, eating slower, and giving your body time to digest. A lot of times, it takes a while to make that stomach-brain connection for our brain to tell us that we are full. And if you're like me, if I get down to the 2 and 3 level, or especially the 1, I'm eating so fast, and then I'm end up stuffed because I eat too fast, I eat too much, and then I feel more towards that 10. So you want to make sure that you try to start eating slower. Chew your food slower, okay? I'm not going to go into what type of food that you should eat, because I'll be talking more about that as I have another broadcast. So hopefully you guys will keep following and keep learning more about what to eat. But again, just to that place where you feel satisfied. Now, I started watching myself on Saturday. After I did the broadcast, okay, I became more aware, and I was like, wow, I'm headed up towards the 8 zone. I'm already feeling pretty stuffed. So if I keep eating more, I'm going to feel a 10, and I'm going to feel really stuffed and get too full. So it actually worked, even though I went over the 5 and over the 6 and 7. I had just been to the grocery store, okay, so I have more food, and was just kind of like, snacking and eating and that kind of thing, and I got up to the 8. But luckily, I thought about what I was talking about on the other broadcast and decided, you know what, I need to stop eating, or I'm going to get into that level 10, okay? So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully this will bring it to your awareness of when you're eating, because, guys, listen, just like I've said in other broadcasts, when we're eating out, we're getting double and triple portion sizes. So if you eat everything on that plate, most likely you're going to feel stuffed. I mean, it depends on where you're eating, but that's what's happening. So it really takes a discipline within you to break that in half, to split it up, to, have some now, I have some a couple hours later. I don't care if you even have it a couple hours later. At least you're not having it all at once. So it's just something to think about, guys, and start using the hunger scale, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and jump off. If you have questions, comments, please leave comments in the chat stream what you think about this hunger scale, okay? So remember, we don't want to be at a 1, and we don't want to be at a 10, and we want to achieve a 5 as close as we can. So when you see yourself, give yourself time when you're eating, let some of that digest, and then have a little bit more. But ask yourself during that time, during your meals, typically it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner that we overconsume. So ask yourself during those meals, am I getting too far to the right, okay? To the right being to the 10. So we want to bring it back in, and hopefully that'll help you guys be more aware and help you to just say no, okay? I'll see you later. Bye.